Fire Goddess. Initial interview. Okay, what's on the docket for this morning? New client. Age 49. Single. Bartender. Anger management issues. Oh, that's interesting. The buzzer on the interviewer's desk flashes red and they pick up the phone receiver. Yes. Your 10 a.m. appointment has arrived. Thank you. Please send her in. The interviewer replied to the receptionist. And punctual, the interviewer thought. That's always a nice perk. The door to the office opened, and in walked a woman dressed in a black business blazer, red blouse, and black skirt. But more notably, she had traces of black soot and ash on the sides of her forehead and on her hands. The interviewer greeted her and motioned to the couch across from them. Thank you for filling in the initial paperwork online. Did you have any questions about our policies and procedures? It seemed fairly standard, the woman said as she noticed from the corner of her eye a smoldering bit of ash on her right shoulder, and she began patting it out. The interviewer noticed it too and looked at it inquisitively. Would you like anything to drink before we get started? Water, coffee, or tea? Tea would be lovely, please. The interviewer walked over to the beverage station in the corner and made a cup of Earl Grey and brought it over to the woman. The interviewer noticed the edges of her hair seemed a bit singed near her right shoulder and that it was still smoking a bit. Everything okay? The woman laughed and looked directly at the interviewer. If it was, I wouldn't be here, would I? Thank you for the tea. True. Tell me about your goals for our sessions. What do you hope to accomplish? The woman sighed. I have some past grievances that I need assistance controlling my anger with. There are is a specific individual with whom I need to handle interactions with less explosively. Interesting word choice, the interviewer thought. They took a seat across from the woman and picked up their notepad. How are the interactions going currently? The woman grinned. Typically, the conversation starts out civil enough, but I have certain trigger points that infuriate my temper too rapidly, and then a hasty retreat, and often a fire extinguisher, she mumbled, are necessary. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the whole sentence. Please repeat. I have a fiery and destructive temper. When I'm very upset, things become engulfed in a wave of rage. I see. The interviewer wondered how much exaggeration may or may not have been inferred in that reply. Could you please give me a recent example? Certainly, the woman replied, finally swatting her right shoulder to smack out the smoldering spot in her jacket. Today's encounter, was initiated simply to discuss territory boundary lines. The regions seemed easy enough to divide along geographical divisions, and we appeared to be in relative agreement. Territory boundary lines? Think of it like a divorce, and we're dividing up the property. That analogy might be easier to follow. Anyhow, it seemed to be going okay, but then the evil bastard started flirting, and he knows he gets under my skin all too easily. I mean, given the millennia, I mean decades, we've known each other in the undeniable raw chemistry, and the woman starts fanning herself off a bit. Is it becoming warmer in here? Actually, now that you mention it, it does feel warmer. Let me check the thermostat. The interviewer walked over to the wall and noticed the room temperature was indeed rising. Perhaps I'll open a window for a bit of a breeze. In lieu of tea, may I have some ice water? That might help. The interviewer noticed the woman was perspiring and fetched ice water for her. Please continue. Well, the woman paused to gulp down the ice water. Oh, that's much better. She noticed her left shoulder had started smoking a bit and smacked it. He has always been my Achilles heel. He was a hottie, too, she recalled. He knows me too well and too thoroughly, and just when I foolishly think I can trust him, or this time he'll be different, or this time things will work out, the woman growled, they just don't. The interviewer noticed the woman's ice blue eyes seemed to flash a fiery red at that last sentence. The woman continued, but her voice started to deepen in tone. I mean, every damn fucking time I think I have the upper hand, that my willpower is in check, that he means what he says he means. The woman's fingertips flicker with tiny flames. The interviewer noticed but was unable to grasp what was occurring. Like, when he makes promises, does he ever intend to keep any part of those promises? The woman's hands turn red and the flames at her fingertips increase in size. Her hair begins to smoke. And the worst is when he says he loves me. I mean, really? After all the times he abruptly leaves, how is it love? Does he even know the meaning of the concept? The couch the woman was seated upon suddenly bursts into flames. The interviewer gasps and jumps up. The woman turns and sees the fiery furniture. Oh, for fuck's sake, again? The woman spies a fire extinguisher on the wall and uses it to put out the burning couch. How? How? The interviewer is shockingly astonished by what just happened. You're going to need a new couch. The woman looks at the ash-covered, formerly known as couch, and back to the interviewer, and less of your memory. The interviewer is seated at her desk, looking over that day's appointments. She buzzed her receptionist. Has the new client for the 10 a.m. arrived yet? Nope, must be a no-call, no-show. All right, let's prep for my 11 a.m. appointment then, please. The interviewer sniffed the air. Why does my office smell like cigarettes?